Dabei seid. Ich freue mich, dass ihr eingeschaltet habt. Wir werden nämlich heute gemeinsam jemanden begrüßen, da freue ich mich ganz besonders drauf, nämlich Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. Mein Name ist Walandi Tsanti, ich leihe meine Stimme SmackDown jeden Samstag auf Pro7 Max und heute auch Raw um 22 Uhr auf Pro7 Max. Umso schöner freue ich mich, gerade heute dann natürlich Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair in wenigen Augenblicken begrüßen zu dürfen. Sie winkt schon im Chat zu. Ist es nicht ein Traum? Ich freue mich. Ich winke euch erstmal allen auch zu und den Stream, denn in wenigen Sekunden, wenn das Internet sich die Mühe gibt, werden wir Bianca Belair begrüßen können. Entweder habe ich daneben geklickt oder noch nicht angenommen. Jetzt wird es soweit sein. Es ist diese Spannung, die es wunderschön macht. Sekunden vergehen. Ich müsste jetzt eigentlich... Da! Ich sehe, sie ist da. Bianca Belair, it's great to see you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for your time, because it's a busy week. It's a busy week. We have Extreme Rules coming up, so I'm very thankful that you have some time in your busy schedule for each and every one of us here in Germany.
I'm super excited. It's always a busy week in WWE, but it's even more exciting with Extreme Rules coming up.
Ladies, gentlemen, when you see this woman, she had unprecedented accomplishments in the past years. Let's wrap this up. Winning the Royal Rumble match, winning the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania. In the main event, by the way, winning the Raw Women's Championship against none other than Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. This woman won an ESPN ESPY award. What a ride it has been. How do you feel?
Sometimes it still feels, I don't know, too good to be true. I'm just in an amazing position right now, and I'm just grateful for all my fans that have been with me this whole entire journey. And right now, you know, I'm Raw Women's Champion, and I'm just fighting to keep this title because I just got it not too long ago, so I'm trying to keep it as long as possible. I'm about to go up against the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion at one point. So I'm trying to add one of the ESTs on my list and become the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion. But it's been an amazing past few years.
Yeah, and you just mentioned your opponent now. Well, let's talk about it, because this coming Saturday, it's the most extreme week in WWE season, because we have Extreme Rules and in Philadelphia, which is so fitting. And you have a huge challenge in Bayley, and perhaps you can say 2 or 3 words or more about your opponent, because it's a familiar challenge for you.
Yeah, it's a very familiar challenge for me. You know, Bayley and I, we have unfinished business. She was the very first person that I really ran into when I first got on SmackDown, very early on in my main roster career. You know, she was the first four horsewomen that I actually got to pin. It was very challenging to get to that point. So, you know, fast forward, you know, she got injured, and a whole another year and a half later, she's back, and she's back with a vengeance. So it's no one more dangerous than someone coming back with a chip on their shoulder, and that's where Bayley is right now. And now she has Io and Dakota at her side. So it's going to be challenging. I feel like it's even more challenging now than it was then, even though I was able to overcome her almost a year ago. This is a different Bayley. It's an unpredictable Bayley, a Bayley that has a chip on her shoulder. Bayley has 2 girls on her side with her. So it's going to be even more challenging this time.
You said something interesting, which you also said on Raw this week, which, guys, you can, of course, see on Pro7 Max, 10 p.m. in a couple of hours with Bianca Belair. And Bianca, you had a confrontation, contract signing with Bayley, and you were talking about the chip that she had on her shoulder, and you were saying, like, she has to prove something to herself, not to you. Perhaps you can elaborate that a little bit more, what you mean.
I think Bayley's going through more of a personal journey and personal battle with herself that she somehow has blended with taking that out on me and thinking that battle has something to do with me. I think that, Bayley, she went into almost comparing herself to me, saying that she used to be me, and it's the fans' fault that her career has crumbled. It's no one's fault other than Bayley's. And the thing is that Bayley's career never crumbled. She got injured, and I think that she's getting in her own way. I just think that she has this chip on her shoulder that she's trying to take out on me. I know that everything has switched a year or so ago, I was the rookie. I was playing her game, and now she's come back to me being champion. I feel like now she kind of feels uncomfortable, and she's kind of playing my game, and now she's just trying to knock all of my accomplishments down. And she's like, you're not as good as you think you are, and she's trying to bring me down to a level that she's comfortable with. So I think that right now, Bayley, she has more to prove to herself than to me. So this is like a personal thing that Bayley's going through that she's taking out on me. But if that's how it has to be, then that's how it's going to have to be at Extreme Rules.
And the interesting thing is, like, she was like the role model. Now she calls the role model, and you're like in this position right now, in this what on which way can we say it? The good girl, the good guy position. And it's a difficult position to be in emotionally, and a lot of responsibility. And it seems as if you embrace it. What you just said about Bayley, it was a different kind of vibe. And how is it for you, especially in this age, to be this good girl and representing what you represent? Is it sometimes that you feel like, okay, I just let it go, I do another thing? Or have you gone?
It's definitely a huge responsibility. I mean, it is. I think the difference between maybe Bayley and I is, Bayley called herself the role model. I feel like if you're a role model, it's not something that you need to call yourself. It's not something that you have to try to strive to be. I'm just out here just being unapologetically me and hoping that rubs off on other people. I feel like the best way that you can connect with people is just genuinely being you. And that's all I can do. I used to be very focused on trying to do things the right way, like trying to do them the right way. And I realized there is no right way other than just being yourself. Showing up is simply enough. So, I think Bayley, she talked about how she used to be me, and the little girls used to dress like her, and now they dress like me, and I'm going to plateau just like her. But the difference between her and I is that Bayley was playing a character. She was playing someone that she's not. So now she just evolved into who she actually is, and she's showing her true colors. Like I said, Bayley definitely could be a role model. I looked up to Bayley when I first got into NXT and saw how she was NXT and how she was able to adapt when she got to the main roster. But now it just seems like she's just showing her true colors now.
If anyone wants to take and make a headline, please take the sentence that Bianca Belair just said. If you want to be you or you want to be me, just be yourself. It's like this way. And this is something which I want to say because I follow how many people are here all over the world following you, Bianca Belair, and listening to your words. And I see a lot of hearts. Guys, share this interview. We have Bianca Belair a couple of minutes and we can listen to her. As you said, Extreme Rules. Also, history will be made because it will be the first time two women against each other in a ladder match for women's championship. Again, a lot on the line, and again, a lot of pressure going into this. How do you handle that? Do you realize that sometimes that there's a lot of pressure sometimes?
There's always pressure. There's always so much pressure. I feel like there's never a moment I really get to just like exhale. But that's just a part of it. And being champion, you're at the top of the mountain, and it's hard to get there, but it's even harder to stay there. You have a target on your back, and there's always somebody coming after you. So, yes, it's always pressure, but I love making history. We're going to make history this weekend at Extreme Rules, the first time, that women are having a ladder match for a title opportunity. Lots of pressure, but at the end of the day, I think that I thrive under pressure, and I always say that I'm the best, and you can't be the best if you don't push yourself. So I always try to remember to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and know that in the end, it's just going to make me better.
Do you prepare in some way, especially going into a ladder match, or you just say, okay, perhaps I think about it, but I know I'm gonna get hurt, so let's go with it.
Yeah, it kind of just comes with it. You know it's going to hurt. You know that no matter the outcome, you're going to be sore the next day. I've never been in a ladder match. And I think that that's something that Bayley, she knew, and she's playing that to her advantage. She's been in a ladder match before. Have I KO'd Bayley on a ladder? Yes, I have it at Hell in a Cell. But to be an actual ladder, I never don't even know how to prepare for one. I can pull the ladder out of my garage and climb up on it and over again. I can do on the Jacob's ladder at the gym. There's really nothing that I can do to prepare, but my motto is I prepare year round. I don't try to prepare when the opportunity presents itself. I just have to be confident in my abilities and rely on all my ESTs in the ring.
When you started in WWE, I just want to say, personal story, you started at the Mae Young Classic, or that's where I saw you the first time, and you're coming out a lot of energy, the way you are, the way you're talking to me, you're talking to each and every one who's here. And the one thing I remember was the hair whip, which you did. And I was like, I never saw that. I saw so much things, really, never saw that. And I knew I wanted to ask that. I don't know if you ever said, but how did that come to be?
It kind of just happened so naturally. It first just started out as a hairstyle. I was trying to find my way when I got into NXT, and my husband, Montez Ford, he was the first one who was like, the best way to be successful here is to stand out. He's like, look at what everybody else is doing and do the complete opposite. So I saw all the other girls, wearing their hair down and flowy and beautiful. And so I started wearing this long braid. And my husband was like, yo, keep it, because somebody might come to the WWE show for the first time. They might not remember your name, but they'll remember the girl with the braid. And so you automatically stand out. So it started out as just me wearing it at first. But then every time I got into the match, girls kept pulling my hair. That's the first thing they wanted to do, was pull hair for some reason. Like, you're going to fight, why you pull my hair? So then I had to figure out a way to stop them from pulling my hair. And so that's where the hair whip kind of came out of, a way to teach people my number one rule: do not touch my hair. And it kind of happened out of nowhere at my first live event, NXT in California. And I wasn't expecting it to make the noise that it made. I was just using it. And it kind of surprised me and the other person I was in the ring with, and the crowd went crazy. So I was like, all right, this is a thing now.
And especially at an NXT show, it should have been a smaller arena, and that hair whip would be even louder.
So
oh, that's great. That's a great story. I always wanted to ask that. And yeah, your husband was right. You stood out. You stood to a lot. You stood out to a lot of people. Me too. Guilty as charged, and that's a good thing. And it became your trademark. It's great. It's great. What I want to ask also is, during that time, because it was like your way. It seemed to us that it was Bianca Belair always going one step up. We only saw the rise of Bianca Belair. If you go back to that time, Mae Young Classic, NXT times, what advice would you give today the Bianca Belair from a couple of years ago?
The advice that I would give to NXT Bianca Belair, that it all makes sense in the end, and don't forget to have fun. I think my time at NXT, I came in, I didn't come from the wrestling world. I came in feeling like I had to prove that I belonged here. I was trying to learn this new art and skill, this new craft of being a wrestler at the same time trying to learn all the history of the business, and it was just a lot. And I feel like I was constantly trying to one up myself, whether it was me sewing my own gear and trying to wear different gear, or pull out different moves, and bring something new to the table, and learning something new and studying my craft. I was grinding all the time. I had fun, but I feel like sometimes I forgot to really like stop and appreciate the small accomplishments along the way, in their own way, and just remember to have fun and not take it so seriously. But I mean, at the same time, it got me to where I am now. But I just want to just encourage everybody, no matter what you're doing, remember to like make sure that you're having fun first and foremost, even if you're grinding along the way.
Again, an important sentence that everyone should consider here. Thank you again for that. That was cool. You said again about your gear. And again, I have to ask, do you have a YouTube channel where you show how you design your gear? Or just tell, first off, how did that come to be? And what do you do all of that? Because there doesn't seem to be time for a WWE superstar. And then again, you have time for that.
I'm exhausted.
I didn't want to achieve that. It's your passion. Go with it.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel where I try to do it, but I don't post as much as I should. I don't have time. I'm literally, I was maybe got 2 hours of sleep last night because I just started my Extreme Rules gear last night. I'm trying to I still don't know what I'm making. I don't know what the design is.
You're designing it this week for Saturday?
Yes, it's like a puzzle. Yeah.
Cool.
I have time. I'll probably I'll fly to Philly. There's no time, but I have to try to make time. It's just a part of who I am, and it gives me comfort and makes me feel accomplished. But just know that it's very hard to. It's like I don't know if this is sustainable for the rest of my career. It's just there's no time, but I'm making time for it. So I really love when people appreciate my gear, and I see people that love my gear, and it like makes me so happy.
I remember it had to be Hell in a Cell. It was a premium live event with all the flames and your SmackDown gear. I remember that.
Oh yeah. I love doing things. I will say I was gonna do a themed gear for Extreme Rules, like the purple and lime green, but I feel like everybody else is starting to like do like themed gears more now. So I'm like, okay, now I gotta do something else to go the other way. So I feel like there might be some green gear. So I'm trying to figure out something else to like still stay in theme, but be different.
Be different. And while we're talking about your time, there's so many hearts right now. Guys, all your hearts for Bianca Belair, because it's great that she has some time for us here in Germany. I want to ask you, during your time here in WWE, what is your favorite memory in the last years?
I've had so many. I can't think of. I'm gonna throw them out. My favorite memory was the first ever women's War Games match, which was just an amazing locker room at that particular time at NXT. And now we're getting to do it at Survivor Series, so hopefully I'm in that match. I don't know. And maybe WrestleMania. WrestleMania with Becky Lynch. And it's just so many. It's so many like small ones that mean just as much as the big ones. But there's been so many.
I want to ask this. I really want to ask this because I'm not sure what kind of answer, but I want to hear it. Your 3 most influential persons in life, really, not career-wise, but what you learned from them and where it took you.
Number one, my parents. Learned everything from them. They've instilled everything in me. The most supportive, loving human beings in my life. Always made me feel comfortable to go out there and try because I always could, I always knew I was safe with them. And then I would say my brother. He was the first like example for me as far as like school and college. He's the reason why I even started playing sports because I saw him get a trophy at his first banquet, and I was like, I want a trophy. How do I get a trophy? He's like, play sports. And I always followed my brother around. College was never a question in my mind because I saw him go. I saw him struggle after college, and then so when I struggled, I knew that there was a plan and there was a journey. And then last is my husband. He was the person I met when I was 27 years old, and he was the person that kind of like taught me that, give yourself permission to be happy and make your own decisions and go through life and just be happy and choose you. It's okay to choose you first. And he's helped me so much in WWE, from the braid to telling me what to watch, to learn the history of WWE, to be my traveling partner, to be my best friend. I love those three people so much in my life.
Thanks for your insights. That was very personal, and we appreciate that you talked about it. And it was great to hear that. And I hope everyone who's now here live also feels this connection that Bianca has to those special people, and that Bianca Belair has to her fans. What you were talking about on Raw, which we will see here in Germany, of course, in a couple of hours, 10 p.m. And then we're going to see you, and we can't wait to see the ladder match at Extreme Rules in Philadelphia. It's going to be great. What are your expectations for the fans in Philadelphia? This is going to be interesting, right?
Yeah, Philadelphia, it's an amazing city to especially have a wrestling show. The fans are on a whole other level. The environment is going to be crazy. The atmosphere is going to be crazy. Our job is to put smiles on fans' faces, but whenever we have a show in Philadelphia, the fans always show up and show out for us. So it's going to be even more crazier because it's Extreme Rules. It's going to be a great show. And I'll just put the spoiler alert right now. I'll be walking out as the Raw Women's Champion.
There's the title belt that we see in the background. And perhaps we will see a new designed ring gear if Bianca Belair has time.
We'll see what I come up with.
Yeah. Bianca Belair, it was really great talking to you. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Have a great week. Have a great match this weekend. And we're looking forward to seeing you each and every week, every Wednesday here in Germany, Raw, or on SmackDown, like you were last week on SmackDown. Is every Saturday here on Pro7 Max. Thank you for your time. In the end, just tell us, where can people find you online? Because we talked about it.
You can find me on Instagram at Bianca Belair, WWE. Also on TikTok, too. I'm trying to get this TikTok.
You're on TikTok, too?
I'm on there, but I'm not really, on there. I'm trying to figure it out. It's complicated.
I'm gonna do a video, and I'm gonna tag you in there from this part, and we're gonna see what we do from there. Okay. Thank you, Bianca Belair, and we see you later.
All right, thank you so much. See ya.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you. Ist das nicht ein Traum gerade gewesen? Wunderschön, muss ich sagen. So ehrliche Haut, was Bianca Belair gerade gesagt hat. Sehr, sehr viel Persönliches. Das war schön. Das hat Spaß gemacht. Ich hoffe, euch hat es auch